comfort seat in your own room and please avoid the backlight. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. If you have an earphone or headset, we recommend you to use it so that your voice can clearly and loudly to be heard. During the Q&A discussion session, all participants, please use the chat box to deliver the questions. Thank you for your cooperation and consideration.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the guest lecture series on Sustainable Development Goals. Today, I am Dio from ITS Global Engagement, will be your master of ceremony today. Today's GLS will present a lecture by Mr. Ilkka Suur-Uski from JAMK University of Applied Science, Finland, entitled Circular Economy in Europe. And also we will have Professor Maria Anityasari from ITS as our moderator. Hello, Mr. Ilkka and also Professor Maria.
Hello, Dio. Good afternoon. Hello, Ilkka. How are you?
Hello from Finland, from sunny Finland.
Oh, sunny. I'm glad you have sunny today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Winter is gone.
Looking forward for hearing your lecture, Mr. Ilkka, and also Professor Maria. But first of all, let me inform you some of the rules for this event. First, please adjust your name or ID screen using format group number _name _campus. For the group number, please refer to the file given by the committee in the chat box. Second, during the lecture, please turn off your microphone and only turn it on when the moderator gives you the chance. And it will be so much appreciated if you will turn on your camera throughout the lecture. And third, please fill in your attendance in the link given by the committee and the chat box. For participants who wish to get an e-certificate and stamp, please fill in the attendance within 15 minutes after the session starts. Fourth, participants who wish to ask questions during Q&A session, please kindly send your questions in the Q&A link in the chat box as well. Or maybe you can ask directly by using the raise hand feature. But before we start the lecture, allow me to deliver our schedule today as follows. First, opening and introduction. Second, lecture session. Third, breakout room session. Fourth, presentation and reflection. Fifth, Q&A session. Sixth, certificate awarding and closing. Now, before we proceed to the next agenda, let me introduce our respected moderator for today's lecture, Professor Maria Anityasari. Professor Maria currently serves as a consultant for Surabaya City Government and also the Director of ITS Global Engagement. At the same time, Professor Maria also served as an associate professor in the Department of Industrial Engineering at ITS Surabaya. Some of her achievements includes Indonesian representative in International Visitor Leadership Program and also Indonesian representative in International Learning Experience. Professor Maria accomplished her doctoral and master's degree in the University of New South Wales, Australia. Without further ado, let me invite Professor Maria in the virtual stage to moderate this lecture. Hello,
thank you
Professor
so much.
Maria.
Thank you, Dio, for a very nice introduction and special welcome to Mr. Ilkka Suur-Uski. Can I just call you Ilkka?
Yes, you may. Thank you, Maria.
Okay, and also call me just Maria. I'm very happy having you today, especially because the topic on circular economy is really hot issue right now. Do you agree with me? It is really hot
Yes,
issue
totally
even in
agree with
Europe.
you. Yes.
Okay. Do you know what? In Indonesia, nobody talked about circular economy last year, but since like about November 2021, almost every day in the national network television, we always see advertisement about circular economic, circular economic, circular economy. So it is very hot issue here, but I understand that actually it is not something that just like flip change everything. We need to work very hard to make it happen, right?
That's correct.
Let me introduce our speaker today. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, Ilkka, because I know that you are very busy, and because of the cooperation between our institution getting stronger day by day, we are very happy to welcome Mr. Ilkka today. So all the participants, I invite you to see the PowerPoint slide that already prepared by the committee. Mr. Ilkka lives in Finland, far away from Indonesia, with a very extreme weather, if I may say, because you have very freezing winter, and I'm glad that you said today you have sunny day there in Finland. And he is working in JAMK University, obtained Master of Engineering in Digital Supply Chain, and now working in circular economic issue and also transportation in different mode and basic logistics, which is very, very hot issue since a decade ago, I believe, but now become more important and more important. And today we are going to learn not only from presentation, but also from case study and also interaction in the group. So Ilkka, I have to mention as well that today we not only having students, but we also have lecturer with us. So one of them is Dr. Eko Nurmianto. Dr. Eko Nurmianto is now here with us. Hello, Dr. Eko Nurmianto, how are you?
How are you? Thank you. Thank you, Professor Maria. Hello, Mr. Ilkka. How are you?
Yes, Dr. Eko Nurmianto teaching the general courses here in ITS, and he also invited his students to join our session. I believe some more lecturers also joining us, but later when I can see the list of the participants, I will also introduce during the discussion. So now we have very precious time, and I will give the virtual microphone fully to Mr. Ilkka to explain about the circular economy in Europe. And all students, I invite all of you to learn from the situation in Europe, and let's make the borderless world we are now living become the circular world as well, because now everything can go anywhere. Thank you so much. Ilkka, the time is yours.
Thank you for your kind words, and more thank you for letting me be here with you. This is my privilege to work with you. So this is something that clearly made my day and made my spring. So as you saw, my background, it's come from agriculture. I'm dairy farm son. So that gives something for my background. What was the key element when I was a kid? It was more about circular economy that I didn't even notice until recently when we started to think and say about circular economy. And as you said, you haven't thought of circular economy, but one thing that came to me just this morning about circular economy and this particular event is that we are now working with circular economy. As I am here, as in Finland, not coming to your country, so we are saving resources of our lovely planet. So one key element that we are, like today in this event, working with basic of circular economy. So let's keep that in mind. So you all are a part of circular economy right now. So today, the main topic, circular economy in Europe. Let's see what's the target for Europe, regulation and policy. Let's briefly think about the customer perspective, new technology and data that will provide all the information that we need. So the main target in European Union is that we want to be continent with zero emission in 2050. So next 30 years, our key point is to go with CO2 neutral continent. So that's something that will drive us towards. And it's good to make your own targets, because when you put it on a paper, put something that you will see every day, you will go towards a target. Like in everything, like in your studies, in your personal life, just put the target, write it down, and go towards it. It helps a lot. So now, as European Union, we have the target, 2050 climate neutral continent. So what we are going to do with it? Firstly, of course, we have to look what is it today. What do we use? And this is quite hard to see these numbers. As an engineer, you have to see the numbers and look beyond the numbers. What are the big three that we are focusing on? And if we see the amount of materials that we are using in daily basis in 1 year, we see that it's 100 gigatons in a year. And then circular economy principles, so which are done with the principles of circular economy. It's less than 8% of the amount. 100 gigatons and only 8 gigatons are doing with the principles of circular economy. So we are way behind the schedule. So beforehand, or until a couple of years ago, we were just making linear production. Make, use, waste. But now we have to shift them towards circular economy that gives just the production, the value will continue. Yeah. And from that amount, only 8% is going to go with it. So in European Union, we have to focus on housing, mobility, and nutrition. Housing, as we see on the table, the materials to housing, we have to think about something to the materials that we are using in now daily basis, because that is the thing that we are using our resources. Mobility, it's another way around. Materials are not so big thing. Of course, they are a big thing, but the use of that gives us more than double the amount of CO2s. And then the nutrition. And just to point you out that many things related to circular economy, even though the big ones is housing, mobility, and nutrition, many things are related more about consumables. As a person's, the customer's orientation is more about consumptions, and that's only fourth in this chapter. And communication, like doing today with the infra that we have, provides us the service, and that's just minor details with this 100 gigatons. So communication that will decrease the mobility as today. So regulation. So if we have the big picture, what would we have to do about those uses of gigatons? The regulation. Regulation policy will give us ideas with the new companies, new way of doing, and regulation is the base that control us. What do we can do in this that we are going towards a neutral continent. So firstly, let me introduce the circular economy action plan that European Union has done, and we have 5 sectors: sustainable products policy framework, product value chain, less waste, more value, cross-cutting actions, and monitoring the process. So this one gives us good framework to work on. So behind those are things like right to repair. So sustainable product policy framework makes legislation that the customer has right to repair. So beforehand, any company, any product can just be product and sold to customers. Daily base today, as towards cleaner Europe, the policy is that the customer has the right to repair that product. Minor details, but quite effective detail. Example, smartphones, products, lots of smartphones. We had the time period that every smartphone was almost gone to waste, maybe collected some minerals from the smartphones, but nothing less. So that collecting those minerals in circular economy, that's the last part that we are going to do. Firstly, we try to repair the item, give it a longer life cycle, maximize the life cycle. So now we have a legislation that the customer has the right to repair. What else? I think that the smartphones are good examples. I continue with smartphones. Circular economy tries to minimize the use of raw materials. So one good example is that we are going towards a common charger solution. So that even though we have tens of or hundreds different marks of smartphones, in future we should have only one charger solution. So if today I have in my home with 3 kids and wife, we have like 5 different cables to charge our smartphones. In a couple of years, we only have the one. Good example that with legislation that we can prevent use of raw materials. Also, some kind of reward system for the old devices. With this policy and regulation, we are going towards it. We will have the reward system. The plastic as a whole global playground would say agreements with United Nations with recycled plastic. We want to make sure that we will collect all the plastics and try to increase the lifetime of raw materials. Making the circular economy work for people in regions, in cities. One thing to do is that to help make it systematic is that I think if we say we have 26 different countries in European Union, we're going towards that in every country, every city, we have the same kind of marks for our recycled containers. So if I'm going to Paris or Berlin, I know where to put my plastic, I know where to put my papers, and I know where to put my metal cans. So quite simple way of making the same kind of stamps in every lid. So helping the persons to make them the right decisions, because it's quite normal when people are traveling in their homes, they recycle all the items, but when they go to different countries, they don't know how to recycle, they don't know the symbols with those canisters, so they are putting away good renewable materials. So we have to understand we don't have waste, we just have energy in wrong places. So that's one key point. That was a lot to talk about legislation, but I hope you got familiar with what's behind these regulations and policy. The customers are changing. We are not like 20 years ago, we're not like 30 years ago, we're not like 10 years ago. We went towards customer-centric thinking. In circular economy, serve the need, and from the linear production, when linear production mentioned that serve the need, it means that they want to produce as much as possible for the customers. But when thinking about circular economy, the need comes from customer, so you don't product to the store, because we don't want to waste our materials. Customers are more of a unique persons. They don't want to buy the products. They just need the service. I don't need to buy that smartphone. I just want to have some kind of item that can give me a service, that I can call my kids, call my lovely wife, text them, message them. I don't need to own the small item, the smartphone. It doesn't bring any value for me to own that. I haven't owned my phone since 2003, because I noticed that it doesn't give me any special meaning. It's just the way of keeping connection. So in circular economy, the mindset of companies or the product survivors it has to be that make the profit from the need. So give me something special and you can get the profit. So now the company tells me that, okay, we have the product for you just like you want it to be. You can call this, you can have your emails in this, and it's just $27 per month. Quite simple. The customers are going to be more responsible. We are already more responsible. We think about the planet Earth. It's hard to look the statics that we are using. As a Finns, we are quite bad consumers because of the northern location in this planet, and we almost use 4 planets per 1 year as a planet resources. So we are going towards that we think about more responsibility way. And the last part that I want to make sure that we all agree that the digitalization will help the implementation. As the smartphones be more responsible with help of digitalization, we have apps that calculates have you bought enough amount of energy for yourself, for your family, and you may look on that from that app that, okay, I should reduce eat of meat, increase the salads, and so on. The technology is the one that enables most of these things. And as the companies, if you're thinking about new business models, you should actively participate in data sharing. So data, okay, if we go way back 15 years back, example, Facebook or all those kind of things, they collected data and didn't want to share them firstly, but then they understand, okay, they can make money with the data. So all the companies today, if they're planning to do excellent with their technology and data, they should work actively in data sharing. So the support, the supply chain, other organization with their data, and of course they will get something back. It's just difficulty with the data sharing, which kind of data we can share, and then it comes to that decision that it's hard to start the data sharing. Many companies think that, okay, they have their own data that it's so precious that we can't share, that someone will come and take our company with it or something. But it's a key role, the data. And what kind of data is that or is collected as materials? The first thing, the raw materials, what kind of materials is used in that product? Example, plastic. There are so many kind of different plastics. That's important to know if we want to use that specific type of plastic. So what contain on that materials? Origin of the materials. So one policy in European Union is that as we want to go towards circular economy, we want to make the companies so that they are working with circular economy. And we understand that some business areas are so that the cost will increase when they shift towards circular economy. So the origin of materials is something that data will give us. And so we are making some regulations to that, so the competition between circular materials and new solid materials are known, so that if you are using like materials from that are not recycled, you will get some taxes, so that the price will more or less be the same level, even though you have just used raw materials or the materials from the soil. What else about materials? I think that was lots to say already. When we go to another part, use of that product. That's also something that it's fascinating to collect data. The uses of or utility of the product, like sale prices, expectation, usage. So when we think in a circular economy that you don't want to product anything it's not used. So we want that all the materials that are used in that product is used effectively, and the life cycle will be as long as possible. So the use of this, that's one key element. And I will show you example of cars. Okay, we would say that if we look our smartphones on our hands, the usage of smartphones depends of course how many games you play or how many hours you spend on those apps, but on those are also would say less than 50%. But the cars, they are much worse than one of the baddest thing when thinking about uses. So in this case comes to the data sharing in daily base as every person. So if I can share my data, okay, I will use my car to go on holidays. I don't need to as daily base as a go to work. I need that as a holidays. I need that when I go to grocery store, supermarket, and I need that when I give my kids a lift to their hobbies. And I think that's less than 5%. So if I share that data with all the other consumers in my area that I live, we could increase the usage of my car and go towards circular economy. Or the difficult version would be for me, if I think that it's something that I need, and I need to have the car on my yard. But if I could get rid of it, if I just need that, would say 5 hours per week, the car, like really need the car for 5 hours per week, could I just lease it or rent it for those hours? So that means the data sharing in real life. If you think starting business in European Union area that it's difficult with economic perspective, I show you that the stakeholders, investors, financiers are investing more and more when they see that there is sustainable company that works in circular economy. Example, Finnish company that's located here in Jyväskylä, the Spinnova got the financials just for the consumers, for the companies, when they listed their company. In just 2 days, they gained 100 million euros. So roughly $110 million, I would say. So just 2 days. they haven't made any product beforehand. They just showed the product as a laboratory, that they have made it can be done, listed the company in 2 days, bang, that was it. Now they have made their company as a product site here in Jyväskylä and connect with H&M, Echo, Adidas, and those kind of companies. So quite easy to get financial when you have good plan with circular economy. So the playground. We have the economy that's built with easy way. We have the customer that is going towards circular economy. Regulation drive us towards circular economy. We have the new technology. We don't need any more effective more effective computers. We have them already. And then we have the data. We know how to collect the data. We know how to share it. And that's the best part. Are we going as a logistic teacher? Previously, we talked a lot about reverse logistics as part as collecting waste and collecting raw materials. But when we now think about circular economy and look at picture, circular economy is about maintaining the value of the product in that economy as long as possible. And clearly that doesn't include any reverse logistics. It's continuously. So logistics is one key element inside of all those. So no reverse logistics, we just want to increase the lifetime of that product. With the design, material use, that they are those kind of materials that last long. Supply chain as a purchasing, we connect all the supply chain. As manufacturers, the company's resources are also used as a good manner, and so on. Marketing and sales, one happy family. But as marketing and sales, even though the product is unique and it's working and it's good product, but as a marketing and sales, we still lacked the catch the consumer, so that the consumer understand how to use that item as efficient as possible. So sometimes we have so good products that the customer doesn't know how to use it as effective way. I would say from nowadays computers or smartphones, that I can only use maybe 30% of that computer's capacity, and all the things that would be available in that product. So marketing and sales, that's one would say key element to get those items work as good as possible. Okay, now we know the playground in European Union, I will go through some best practice, the companies that are working with circular economy. Most of those are from Finland, and I show you. Some of them are in Europe, and some of them I just wanted to pick your brain and give some international companies also. And let's come from financial needs. So which are those that have the high risk, and it could be more of so that it's harder to get the financial statements. So the international, I want to pick your brain so that you understand what I'm talking about. So sharing platform. Hotels thought that they had the business model that no one could come up. They can give you a room and bed, and you can stay there at night, and that's it. Then Airbnb came and disrupted the market. They say that, hey, we have millions of houses with the data that is available. We show that there's so much room capacity that we don't even need the hotels. So Airbnb came as a need for the customer, but also as we looked at the first slide about use of materials. The housing was the one that will or is using the most of our raw materials. And with Airbnb, that platform, we may use those materials more effectively. Of course, as if you have watched the growth of Airbnb, significant financial needs has been with that company to get all the consumers to understand that they can use it as a good manners, that there isn't any robbery or anything. So it's okay to use, but they have thrown up like millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to get that growth in their company. Of course, when they came up with this idea, it changed the market also, not just those hotels, but housing was also changed, so that the sharing of houses frozen the housing markets, so that people wouldn't sold their apartments, but they kept their apartments even though they moved to another city or from apartment to another big apartment. They kept the old apartment and started renting. Beforehand, they usually sold that apartment and to take something else, or use that as a new apartment, financing the new apartment. But with this Airbnb, they just started to rent the old apartment. So that made some difficulties. There was in European countries and cities, I think Rome was the one that totally frozen the market and made lots of difficulties for families to get their own apartment, because all the apartment was almost rented. And then started to came up with the ideas that some of the houses with lots of apartments started to deny that, okay, in this house you can't rent your apartment because of the traffic. So even though we like the people, but we don't like the people to come to our house. Okay, what else? Go more, sharing cars. So that was, I think I told you beforehand as example of my life. Go more is platform that you can share your car. This Finnish company called Suur-Uski, can translate it to English, smart food. They buy those wasted food that would go to waste from restaurants and sell through online. Resale of used clothes, Tori marketplace for secondhand goods. So every item, your car, your smoke, you can sell those. We like to go as our lovely summertime, which is roughly 2 months in Finland. We like to go sailing, so we have platform for things that you can rent your boat. So you don't have to own the boat, just rent a monthly arrangement that you, with 200 euros, you have 2 days per month to go to sail or something. So that's kind of platforms. Here's the rescue clubs platform. So just app technology we already have with the smartphones, and then we just include app to that technology, and yeah, start eating. Product as a service. Mobility as a service. So this kind of companies with financial perspective is around mid-range, and with that whim, if I want to travel from here from Jyväskylä to our capital Helsinki, or would say a lovely neighborhood country Sweden, to Stockholm, the main capital, I just open that whim and say to that whim that, hey, ticket to Stockholm. And even though I'm using transportation modes as a bus, train, vessel on that sea, and Stockholm again bus, with that one app, I can get the one ticket and go with that ticket all the way to Stockholm. Something else, this is one company. So if you need compressed air to fulfill your tires, you just buy the service. You don't have to buy the machine, just buy the service that I need air this amount. Product as a service, this one fun thing to know, that you don't need to own your clothes. You go to this library, outside library, to borrow those clothes and return them when you don't need them anymore. You can buy a lightning, as schools, companies can buy a lightning as a service, and so on. And then we will move towards the lowest risk in financial needs. So this is clearly that you can see the circular economy, and these are the easy way to implement. They don't need lots of financial either. As my previous company that I worked for 7 years with nutrition, Yara, they product ashes to fertilizers. Quite simple way. We have one company that now can make those paper cups without any plastic. So even though normal paper cup, you think that, okay, this is made of paper, but it still contains inside a little amount of plastic. But there's Kotka mills, and they now can produce those paper cups without any plastic. Neste makes renewable fuel as renewable diesel for cars and aviation industry, and some plastic. Renewable packing from plastic. So this kind of packages is now more and more wood-based plastic products. And I will example that carbon 2X example from Fortum, Finnish company, energy company that can now start production as a plastic from the captured CO2. So we have the industry site, we have the cities collect the waste to waste center. Firstly, we get the recycled plastic away from it as according to our policy. We get the plastic away, and other ones, the minor ones, are going to energy plant. And from that we get slag, maybe those fertilizers, as talked about with the Yara. We gain electricity and heat to our grid. We capture the CO2. They won't go to atmosphere. They go to, they call it sustainable material production. With hydrogen, as product with sustainable as wind or sun. Hydrogen plus the captured CO2 will give us firstly heat to our cities, but then again plastics and methanol. So we don't just stop from here that we gain the plastics and think about here, okay, we can get the heat, electricity, or maybe also ash, slag to the nutrients for people. But we capture the CO2 with new technology. We can make methanol, plastic, yeah. So quite good way of thinking and towards circular economy. These are also, as financial risk are quite low with this life cycle extensions. So the circulation. I talked about with the legislation that there would be some refund, and that's this good example. When you order your meal from restaurant, you take this return me box with you, return it to the restaurant, and get new one back. Quite simple way. Cranes launches the maintenance. Now they collect data from the cranes and make the maintenance beforehand. So great way to to remain the product's life. Valtra, Finnish tractor company, part of ACO. They started new business with the gearbox, old gearboxes. So if the tractor's gearbox breaks down, you don't have to open it and try to guess which part went off. You just take the gearbox off from the tractor. It's quite easy, and return it to the Valtra factory. And at the same time, you will get new as remade old gearbox to you. So you don't get the one that you had, you just get new old one, and your gearbox goes to the factory and they refurnish it to the next customer. Great example and great opportunity to get money from the need of the customers. Efficiency and recycling, great part of circular economy, but these were the first steps. We didn't need a lot of financial statements to this one. These were the first steps that we want to recycle our products. Good example, Outokumpu now recycles all the stainless steels is recycled. So they collect all the old washing machines and all those items to Finland, to Tornio, and make the stainless steel from that. And other things. Betolar is one new company. I will show the example. They make concrete with the materials that are available. So that could be some factories' ashes or slag, or different kinds of materials. They have made the recipe so that they can make concrete from almost any materials. So all the side streams that we have in Finland from those companies, big factories, could be made as concrete. More of those recycling, simple ones, biogas from bio-waste, and also going forward that when we have the bio-waste, we get the biogas from it. We collect all that's left on those containers and make it with this company, makes them as a fertilizers for the farmers. So going forward in that circulation. Yeah, and more or less bigger, smaller company that giving the last part would say before it is nutrient for the humans. Okay, that's quite time that I assumed that we will have from these examples and from European Union part of circular economy. So next step, if Maria, you guys are ready, and we go to spread you in as breakout rooms. And as I showed you some examples from European Union, from Finland. So let's now take a short look. If you can find those kind of companies from your country. So we have 6 different tasks. All of them include the same questions. So in those breakout rooms, try to explore the big players in your country, the top 3 companies. And firstly, think, is the regulation and policy enabling this? Is regulation and policy made those companies available, let's say? Or has regulation changed after those companies started working? Like if you think about companies with circular economy principles called Uber. Uber changed regulation enormously in Europe, in Finland, because we had regulation, strict regulation about if you had a taxi company, you would have to go decent things. But the regulation changed after Uber was brought to this market. Think about the question, are the customers willing to accept this one? Is the time right for these companies already? Used to it or not? Technology and data. I think this one is good question to ask yourself. Which data you may have given them already? And who is financing? So Marie, should I show the room's questions also, or?
Okay, Ilkka, first of all, before we continue to the breakout room, I really appreciate and enjoy your presentation very much. A lot of example. We already have a question in our hand through the link provided, and also through WhatsApp. I got several questions from the participant, and all of us really want to learn more and discuss more with you. However, I believe it will be good for students if they talk among them and find the big player here in Indonesia. Maybe it's not as strong as the one in the Europe, but we need to learn and know what kind of approaches that have been done so far in Indonesia. Yes, actually, Tias, Dio, and also Reni, or the committee are ready for the breakout room. But maybe if you would like to show the question and a couple things that need to be reflected later on. Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, do you just say which rooms will do which task? But I will show briefly those tasks. So, one, or the groups that are involved with sharing platforms, go and see what kind of platforms I showed you. So, and then answer those questions. Product as a service. So, energy saving, sustainable, recycling, cost efficient, involved through the product life circle. Like my example, WIM, renewable in Indonesia, like this wood-based plastic that we have. Life cycle extensions, what companies would go in this this top 3. And first, resource efficient and recycling Indonesia. Infra and batteries. Is there something involved in infra and batteries? And the second group will go and concentrate to textiles and bio-based. So those 6 different groups. So there will be many groups that ask the same question, and hopefully we can get good combination of different types of foundings.
Sure, Ilkka. Okay, student, before we send you to the breakout room and give you a 30 minutes for discussion, do you have any question in regard to the discussion in the breakout room? Anyone to ask question? Everything clear? Yes, Theo, do you think it's clear? Well understood?
Yes, Professor Maria, I think so.
Okay. Okay, any question, guys? No? All good? Okay, so Ilham, Almira, Johan, Evelyn, and all students, please prepare your question after this, and you will be given time later on to reflect, to share your finding, okay? The question is very interesting. Are there local big player in different activities that mentioned by Ilkka, regulation and policy enabling the practice, whether customer willing to accept or not, and also new technology and data available, and who is financing that action. Okay, so now I will give back the virtual microphone to Gio or Tias or other committee to direct the breakout room, and we will have around maybe 30 minutes for the discussion and then going back to the main room. Gio or Tias, the time is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ilkka and also Professor Maria. Actually, our committee has already assigned all of you in the breakout room. So, yeah, in a second, committee will open the breakout room, and you will just need to accept the invitation. Thank you.
So do you, on those breakout rooms, do they know on which subject they will get the answers, or are they doing for all of these topics, sharing platforms, work as a service, or are they divided with different topics?
Yes, actually, Mr. Ilkka, they already, our committee already assigned the topic in each breakout room. So if you
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
This
if you wish
is
to,
great.
yeah, if you wish, you can jump through the groups to maybe review their discussions regarding the
If it's
discussion.
okay, I will definitely want to see their collaboration on those
Yes.
rooms. If they don't mind.
Of course, they will be happy to have you in their room.
Okay. Okay,
So I will
some
stop
students
here.
who haven't gone to the breakout room, student, please accept the invitation. So only assistant and also a teaching assistant and committee will be in the main room, but the rest of the participants should go to the breakout room and have discussion. If Pak Eko Nurmianto still here in the main room, you may stay to have conversation with Ilkka. It's also okay.
I have several questions to Mr. Ilkka, if you like.
Yes, I read your question as well in Slido, but Mr. Ilkka still going to the breakout room, I believe. Okay,
Oh,
Pak,
yeah.
later I
Oh,
will
no
give you
worries.
opportunity to ask, yeah, direct question.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Uh, sorry bahasa Indonesia. Sepertinya saya sama Raihan ini salah masuk breakout gitu. Kami tadi breakout sendiri di room 24 gitu.
Sebentar, nomor 11 ya.
Ya.
Mas Dio bisa
Yes,
dimasukkan ke room 11?
Yeah, it's okay. Professor Maria, we will
Oke.
sign.
Yeah, already invite to the right breakout room, Prof. Maria.
Okay, Mas Nasir, you can accept the invitation and go to the breakout room 11.
Oke, thank you.
Terima kasih.
For the rest of the students, we will ask you again to accept the invitations to go to the breakout room. So please, if you haven't joined the breakout room yet, please join. Thank you.
Mas Dio, itu ada grup yang jumlahnya cuma 2, kayak gitu, 1 gitu Mas Dio. Mungkin di merge aja Mas Dio.
Itu Bu, yang 2 dan 1 itu sebenarnya mereka yang belum masuk ini Bu, tapi akan kami merge saja.
Ya, coba dipindahkan aja Mbak.
Ya, terima kasih Bu.
Terima kasih. Mbak Reni or Dio, could you please make assistant become a co-host? Halo Dio.
Iya Bu, ini seperti
Princess, Pepi, and Yemima.
harus host Bu. Ini saya lagi minta Mbak Reni untuk segera kembali ke main room untuk bisa assign
Oke,
menjadi co-host. Iya Bu.
Madam Maria.
Ya Pak.
Oh, I have another program to follow. May
Okay.
may I left, yeah.
Sure, Pak. If you have anything, something else to do, you can leave
Yeah.
us, and I will deliver the question to.
Oh yes,
Ilkka.
yes. I have also congratulations for you building up this program, and perhaps in industrial engineering department may also have optional lecture with call circular economic mata kuliah pilihan Bu. That's good ya. Yeah.
Yes, it is prospektif Pak.
Ya, ini dengan apa? Dengan breakout room ini kan mungkin ada small industry in around Surabaya atau Jawa Timur yang memanage hal-hal seperti ini.
Oh iya, iya Pak.
Yeah.
Atau non, Michael?
Oh, sami-sami. Mohon izin live ya Bu ya.
Nggih, Pak. Monggo.
Congratulations for all the team, Bu Maria and all the teams.
Thank you, Bapak.
Pak
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Excuse me, sir, ma'am. Can you get me to the breakout room because I get a bad connection.
Sure.
Please, Tio.
Yuana, I have already assigned you to the breakout room. Please directly join. Thank you.
Theo, I guess we need to invite participants go back to the main room because we still have a question and answer session here. Halo Theo.
Bu Maria, maaf tadi saya habis dari toilet. Apakah ada yang bisa dibantu?
Kita harus kembali ke main room, Theo, karena kita masih butuh ada question and answer. Ini sudah more than 30 minutes.
Oh, baik Bu. Saya
Please broadcast to all the group to come back, and then within 1 minute, just close the room, and then they should come back to the main room. Okay?
Oke, belajar Bu. Professor Maria, are you going to lead the discussion? Or
Yes.
is it me?
Yes, I will do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I tried to be fast, but I wasn't fast enough to meet all those people.
Okay. Yes, we have quite a number of questions. I know that we still students need more time for discussion, but because we still need to have question and answer, I invite all of them to come back to the main room. Ilkka, do you want to hear some reflection as well from students?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that would be great.
Okay, so welcome back all students to the main room. I would like to continue our session today with the discussion and also reflection. We have a couple of questions already in the chat room and about 12 questions in my hand. I don't know whether we can go through the whole question because 12 questions plus 8, 20 questions, but okay, anyway. So let me invite maybe one or two groups first to reflect what you discussed and found in your breakout room. Before I invite particular group, I just give opportunity for any group to raise your hand and share what you found in your discussion. 3 minutes each group. Anyone want to raise hand and then take this opportunity to reflect your discussion?
Yeah, I would more than happy to hear what particular thing excited you most. So just
yes, maybe
one
not all question, but what excited you most? Okay, great. Anyone want to raise your hand? Can I start from to start the discussion from Harumi from group 17?
Hi, Miss Maria.
Hello, how are you,
This is
Harumi?
Maria. Yeah,
nice to meet you
I'm
again.
good. Yeah.
Okay, could you please share, maybe you can just brief telling about the situation in your breakout room, the topic that you are given, and then express, reflect what you found most exciting, please.
Okay, so before I already have this topic in hackathon in 2020. It is about the hazardous waste management, mostly from infectious waste from the hospital, but in this case, it is from the battery and the electronic waste, right? And I mostly know the management, the hazardous waste management in Indonesia is actually done by Ministry of Environmental and Forestry using an application called Simple. It is actually abbreviated from Sistem Pengelolaan, Sistem Pelaporan Elektronik Lingkungan Hidup.
Okay.
Like that. And for hazardous waste, specifically, we have Siraja Limbah, or Management Performance Reporting Application. It is like the reporting system used for big companies or PT or CV, like that, big companies and big infrastructure such as hospital, for reporting their hazardous waste to the ministry, like that. But for the household waste management, we don't have a specific specific system. So mostly it is managed by local communities like Alang-Alang Zero Waste, if you know, and then Zero Waste ID, like that.
So you think that the system for hazardous waste collection has been managed by government, but other than that, still very, very limited and private company doing it, right? However, Harumi, could you please comment, when we talk about hazardous waste, is it part of the circular economy or solid waste management? Because when we talk about circular economy, somehow it is, I will ask Ilkka anyway to comment on this. Hazardous waste collection, is it part of the solid waste management or part of the circular economy, do you think, Harumi?
I think it is also part of circular economic, because we're actually using hazardous waste every day, and not only from a big company, but also in the household company, like in the household. That's why it is for me, in my point of view, this is including in the circular economy.
Okay, Ilkka, could you please comment on this? Harumi found the hazardous waste management platform provided by government, but more than that, Harumi said that very, very few, even like none, application from the government, still driven by private sector. The first comment may be about the hazardous waste itself. Is it part of the circular economy or not? And then the comment in Europe, is it driven by government or driven also by private industry? Please, Ilkka.
Yeah, that was good thing that you pointed out the hazardous materials. That is big part of circular economy, because we don't want to get them product again. So we want to collect all those and reuse those. So we want to keep them in just a small amount as possible. So that's the first step, that we understand that we don't have waste, we have the energy in wrong places. So great that you pointed that out, and clearly that was things that I totally didn't mention beforehand. So excellent work.
Ilkka, thank you so much for your comment. Just one thing. So something that previously thought to be just like managing waste now can be seen under the light of circular economy. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for your confirmation. And about the second one that Harumi mentioned, hazardous waste driven by government, but nothing else in Indonesia driven by government yet. How about the fact in Europe?
Yeah, the government policy is firstly driving us that we have to collect those hazardous materials, and that also brings the companies working towards this because they know that okay, there's some idea with this system that we can make business towards that. We just make the collection of those hazardous materials. Like example, batteries. We understand that batteries are hazardous materials.
Yeah.
A company in Finland noticed that, okay, it includes nutrition. So they collect those batteries, and then we have zinc, mangan, copper, magnesium, all of those nutrients back to the soil as a clear nutrition. So yes, thanks. That was excellent.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Harumi, for mentioning that aspect and case. It is actually very insightful because previously we see that as a waste prevention, I mean like solid waste management system, but now under the circular economy, it is actually beneficial. Thank you. I will go to group number 13. Pia, do you mind to share the reflection in your group?
Okay, Bu Maria. Okay.
Please go ahead, Pia.
Yes. Can you see the screen, Miss?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
So, our group 13 is we do research about waste sharing platforms for specifically used cooking oils and other oils. And we already found the top 3 platforms that in business, which is Waste for Change, duitin.id, and belijelantah.com. And maybe next, Nico. And then this is the interface for Waste for Change. Setor jelantah dapat uang, so they basically like approach SMEs that produce used cooking oils, restaurants, cafe, and other food and beverages, F&B SMEs, to collect their used cooking oils, and like they can change it with like money. And yeah, maybe that for the model business model. And maybe to the next slide, Nico. And we already do research about the regulation and policy that exists by the government. Currently, we found 3 regulations and policy, which are government policy number 81, which is regulate the management of household waste and similar household waste. And then the government policy number 27, year 2020, about specific waste that contains B3 will able to get recycled. And then the last is the Minister of Trade Policy number 2, year 2022, the prohibition of crude palm oil and processed oil, affecting all business in the field of crude palm oil. And maybe to the next slide. And we also do the analysis of the customer acceptance. We found three main aspects here, which are the primary needs. We all know that oil is essential needs, household needs for Indonesian, especially we use them in cooking. And then additional income, which is this additional income can be collected by selling used oil that can provide additional income instead of just throwing it away. So this used oil actually still have values that can become income for the household. And then the trustworthy, which both of these 3 players already established for Waste for Change from 2014, duitin.id since 2020, and belijelantah.com was established since 2017, and both are still going until now. Next, Nico. And for the technology itself, Currently, both of those three are using integrated systems and applications. They use this website that is integrated to their applications, and not only connecting to their customers, but also to the business to business platform, which they try to approach such industry that needs biodiesel, because all these used oil will be processed into biodiesel, and the processing machine itself to process those used oil into biodiesel, which making it circular. And then what data does this business need? Which the data that is needed currently, the amount of waste generated and who are the producer of the used oil itself, and proportion of recycled materials, consumer expectations and system, both applications or website, utilizations and errors.
Okay.
The last slide is the funding. For the funding itself, we actually just found the data about waste for change. They are funded by three investors: Agaiti Venture Capital, East Venture, and SMDV. Maybe that's all that our team has found. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have
Mr.
prepared
Ilkka.
so well. Thank you. Thank you for group 13. And Ilkka, maybe this is something unique as well, because in Indonesia we have problem with cooking oil. I don't know in Europe, do you have problem with that? Because as far as I know, European people not really depend on cooking oil. In Indonesia, everything fried. What do you think, Ilkka?
Yeah, that's something typical in your part of the world, but not in Finland. Sorry. We have the problem with cooking oil, but it's just minor details. So we have companies that make the same thing that you do there, but the market is quite small for us.
Okay.
But hey, for that group, I really applaud that. That was great work. Totally admire your work in this last 30 minutes. So great, thanks.
Thank you, Via. Thank you for the presentation. Maybe I will ask other group, but maybe.
Can I ask one group?
Yes, please. You
Because
can.
we had good discussion with the group number 7, I think, about data.
Oh, okay. Group 7, you have special requests from Ilkka. Group number 7, Kina, Herliana, Hamam.
7 or 8? No, I can't remember the
Group number 7, or any group that discussed with Ilkka before about the
group we discussed about batteries that you can recharge your phone. Was it?
Oh yeah, that was our group number 8 actually.
8.
Oh, number
Sorry.
8. Ilkka, go ahead.
Okay, so if I may share my screen, hold on a second.
Because we had good discussion about the data that they are collecting, which data will give them as freely. We don't even notice that we give them.
Yes, okay, so thank you. I'm going to be sharing my screen. Just to confirm, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so the topic that was assigned to our group was product as a service. And the one that we had quite a deep discussion in particular with Mr. Ilkka was with Recharge, the product where we can rent out power banks or portable batteries for our phones. And so the concept is that you kind of rent them and then you use them, and then after you're done, you put it back in their slot and it will recharge. And after it's finished recharging, other people can then use it, right? And so regarding the data itself, actually, I don't think the slide is finished yet. But the discussion was that what kind of that data do we actually give to Recharge when we use their services, right? So we might not realize it, but when we use their service, we indirectly give our data, such as who we are, because we sign up on their app, so they know who we are. When do we decide to rent the power banks? Where do we rent the power bank, and for how long do we use it? where do we rent it and where do we return it might be a different thing. So, when giving those kind of data, the company might realize that there is a pattern. Say that I'm a corporate worker, I always rent after I finish my work. So maybe I rent at a certain train station near my office and then I return it near where I live. So, if they use that data correctly, they can sort of know my habit every day. Where do I work? Where do I live? And, the fact that I always need a battery after work can also be interpreted as something by the company, right? So I think that's what we discussed about.
Yes. So like you just give them automatically. You didn't even notice that. You keep the location. You give the information how low your battery was. What is the time period that you need that, and which time you really need those batteries. So they can also manage their own production or the system so that it's more efficient for more amount of people. And more or less more data sharing about in those particular items like smartphones, mobile phones. They give so much details. It's fascinating. If they know that, okay, I use those batteries every day, 5 p.m. or some area of that. So I have already quitted my work for that day. So maybe I'm hungry. So they can share that information to the next company that, hey, you give us something, maybe some accommodation or money as we speak, and we give you a data that, okay, this person is going from this location to that location, and on this time period, mostly he or she is hungry. So they can provide also service for that purpose. So there's lots of information that we give them already, even that we don't even know it.
Okay, great. I think something that really eye-opening, we don't realize before. However, Ilkka, may I ask one question, because some of students here working on reliability and technical thing. When we talk about a circular economy, we are using battery, we are using items that are not used, and so on and so forth. Could you please share the reliability aspect that need also to be considered to make sure that the product that bring back to the customer, to the market, still safe and reliable to be used and things, and ensure that customer will enjoy the same quality as the new product? Is it an issue in the Europe?
It's I would say nowadays it's not the issue. We have I just recently bought my daughter her first phone. She turned it 13. So in my family, that's the age when you get your first mobile phone. So I bought it from a company called Swappy, and they sell old mobile phones. So already used mobile phones, and they're the one big company in that sector, and they started about 5 years ago, I think, roughly. Of course, sorry, my age, my memories start to lose already, but roughly 5 years ago. And then there was first talk about is it safe to buy the phone? Is there something regarding to old data of those smartphones? But we have overcome that already. We don't I didn't even think about in any second about the previous data, because I'm sure now that we have overcome that part already. So it's quite simple and easy and secured way to use also those would say old phones, but for my daughter it was brand new for her.
Is there any guarantee from the seller, from the company, that the phone will function as good as new?
Yes, yeah. They in that company they made columns that you can pick your phone. So if you want to have your phone as almost like brand new, you select that one, and they will guarantee that there isn't any scratches. There is also changed new battery and so on. If you want to pick the lowest price, then they will say it will contain some scratches, maybe on the screen or the backbone. So they give you a scale, and you can pick which condition you want to have your reused phone.
That means the awareness of the customer in Europe is already somehow high and ready to accommodate the circular economy, right?
I would say yes. Yeah.
Very, very good information for all of us. Ilkka, now we are 5:37 in Indonesian time. I know there are many questions. I'm afraid if I go through the question in Slido and also 12 other questions in my hand, do you mind if just one opportunity for students to ask direct question to you before we conclude?
Yes, of course.
Okay, very sorry. Okay, student, thank you for your wonderful sharing. I just wonder if any of you want to ask direct question to Ilkka. I know that in the Slido there are many questions, but I will send to Ilkka, or maybe we can think about going to Finland, yeah, and meet Ilkka, and then we can have discussion, yeah, on-site discussion, not online one. Okay, everyone, if you have any question that will be directed to Ilkka, please feel free. One person. Anyone want to ask question? Okay, seems like student also. Anissa, you want to ask question?
No, ma'am, it's clear for me. Thank you.
Okay, so I will ask one final question from Dr. Eko Nurmianto. His question is about, please tell us how the circular economy influence product value, product safety, and product supply chain. You already mentioned about the reliability and things. And how about the supply chain? It completely changed the supply chains, right?
Yeah, it will change it. That's a difficult question to answer in one short period of time. But as we think about energy, it's quite simple to put on an oil plant or factory that produces diesel. It will collect raw oil in one location, produce the diesel, gasoline, and spread it to your country.
Mm-hmm.
In circular economy, it comes from small scale factories. So linear economy from one location to many locations, and in circular economy, many locations to one location and then back to many locations. So that's why it will change the supply chain. We have to understand that, the principle of circular economy, that there's some difficulties, but we can overcome those. Hopefully that satisfied you with my answer. Circular economy is about supply chain. That's something I want to also point out, that circular economy is about getting the supply chain ready.
Correct. I believe, yes, it's correct. And maybe if we go further a bit, Indonesia and Finland may have different challenges. As our country is archipelago country, we have 17,500 islands, small islands. So the cost of logistics will be so high if we talk about circular economy, different from, for example, Australia or Europe, who that has like plateau, not like spreading out everywhere.
Yeah, we have different difficulties in different countries. Like you have lots of islands. Our difficulty is that we only have 5.5 million persons, and our country is 1,300 kilometers long. So the amount of persons in one hectare, it's quite small. So that gives us those places that we can make the circular economy work quite difficult because we don't have the consumers.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, Ilkka. Your lecture today really insightful and eye-opening for all of us, and really looking forward actually to learning more and collaborating more. I don't know whether you have interest to explore the CE in developing countries, but in Indonesia, especially with 270 million people, the potential to be explored, because like you said, maybe in Europe, the economic level of people is about the same, but in here we have many layers. And then what have been thrown away by people in the high level economy, maybe can be used for the second layer, third layer, fourth layer. And the challenges, like you mentioned, we are a big country with many islands. It is also expose us to different challenges. Oh my, I really want to discuss with you further. Hopefully we can meet in person. And my invitation for you to come to Indonesia, please bring your 3 children, wife, the whole family. You can enjoy Surabaya and Bali. We are plenty to see here. Thank you very much. So much. Thank you so much. So all participants, we learned a lot today. So I would like to invite you all to use your reaction button and give a very warm applause for Ilkka for the wonderful lecture today. So I hope you can bring all the new knowledge and also your sensitivity to the environment back home, and then later on you become the leader in sustainability because now you know how important it is. So once again, appreciation to Ilkka for your willingness, your time, your effort to make the material so attractive, and hopefully we can work together hand in hand to make our world a better place. Thank you so much. And then I will give back the virtual microphone to Dio. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Maria. It was indeed such a fruitful and wonderful discussions. And now I would like to give the highest appreciations to Mr. Ilkka, our speaker for today's lecture, and also Professor Maria for our moderator today, and of course to all participants for all the discussions and also the lecture for today. Furthermore, we would like to present a certificate for Mr. Ilkka as our speaker for today. So this is the certificate for Mr. Ilkka.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Ilkka. And now, before we end the lecture for today, I invite all of the participants in this room to, for a while, open the video so that we can have a group photo together. Okay, are you ready, guys? Okay, are the committees ready to take the picture? Okay, now I will count from 3, 2, 1. Once again, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. Lastly, I will announce some information from the committee. The first one, please don't forget to submit the first assignment of That's What I Learned, or TWIL. The first submission should be done by May 26th, and the second submission should be done by May 31st. Please choose the 2 stream among May sessions as your 2 submissions. And the worksheet can be found through the link given in the chat box. And also don't forget to fill in the feedback form that also listed in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much for all the discussions today. And we hope to see you next week in the same GLS on SDGs. So have a good evening and see you.
Thank you, Ilkka. Please pass my regard to your
Thank
family.
you. That was a
Bye.
pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye, students. See you next week.